And what if you're fully capable? Let me play the scenario for you, right? So you get a new idea to start a project, to go in a certain direction, or to do something. And you get really excited, right? So you start doing this thing, right? You start heading in that direction, you start putting in the work. You start to build up some momentum, and you feel good because you feel like you finally are on your way, right? You're doing what you need to do. But then something happens. You start to question yourself. You start to question whether you made the right choice, whether you made the right decision, whether you're on the right path. And then slowly but surely, you start to slow down or even stop. And then you get a new idea to head in another direction because you feel like that's the way that you should be going, right? And then the cycle continues again. So you may think that because you're doing this, that you're lazy or you're unfocused or there's something wrong with you. And it may be something else, right? What if you're you not being able to stick to one thing? What if it has to do with your nervous system, right? So what does the nervous system do, right? The nervous system is designed to keep you safe. So it's always scanning your internal environment and your external environment, looking for danger. And when it finds that danger, it wants to keep you safe. So what you may think of you, what you may think is you being like unfocused or undisciplined or lazy could really be your nervous system just trying to protect you, right? So like, what's going on with your nervous system in this cycle? So when you get a new idea, a new project or a new direction that you want to go, your nervous system is at ease. It's at ease. It feels safe. It feels protected, right? So when you start to move in that direction, the nervous system still feels safe, because it feels like you now have a container, that's big enough, to handle, what you want to do. But then, as you get that momentum, as you start to do the thing that you want to do, your nervous system starts looking, it starts not feeling safe. It starts not feeling safe because, this is something new. When you start to build that momentum, and then it's actually time to like be consistent. It's actually time to put in the work. It's actually time to be disciplined in all of those things. The nervous system, it now feels like it's not safe. And so to protect you, what it's going to do is it's going to seek a new idea. It's going to seek something new to so that it can soothe itself again. See, what we're mostly taught is that we need to pick one service, one product, one platform, one direction, just a single thing. And For some people that might work, but for others, what you're doing is you're putting yourself in too small a container, because you don't think, just like, you don't think in just one way. You don't think of just one direction. Like, you think in systems, and you can fit into many different systems. And so when you try to pigeonhole yourself into one thing, you feel confined. You feel limited. You feel like you put yourself in a box. And so your nervous system is going to feel tense. It's not going to feel safe. And it's going to feel like it needs to protect itself. And so it's going to have you switch to something else. So you don't feel like you're confined. You don't feel like you're put in a box. You don't feel like you're stuck to this one thing. You don't feel like, you don't feel like that you're limited. And you repeat that cycle because your nervous system is continuing. If the expression doesn't fit the role, then you need to not even do that expression, even though your nervous system is going to feel soothed. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's fresh, like, so what you need to do is for the next 90 days, pick one role and stay in that role. And if you have any new ideas that come up, that's fine. Put them in a vault. And then after the 90 days, if you want to take on another role, that's fine. But you need to play the role for at least 90 days. Because completion is better than perfect. If you look back and you see you have a bunch of incompleted projects, that's another reason why your nervous system is all out of whack. Like, I can't say conquered it enough, but you haven't finished enough things for it to feel safe that you can't even finish anything. So, yeah, finished is better than perfect. So if you start something, finish it. Like, give yourself that 90 days that you're not going to take on any other role. Sorry. Yeah, give yourself 90 days that you're not going to take on no other role. So yeah, and we're going to do another video on this. This was just kind of off the top on the notes that I've been taking, studying the nervous system and seeing this correlation to, being consistent, finishing things, trying to answer that question, like, why? Because you'll feel like it's something wrong with you. Like, dang, man, why can't I, why do I start doing something and I get bored? Or I don't feel like doing it no more, or I don't care for it no more. You know what I mean? And that's because you put yourself in too small a container. And that was the second thing. I'm sorry. The third thing was to limit yourself to 90 days. The second thing was to build a container big enough to handle all of the roles. Like, so because you're a systems person, you can have systems for all these things in a container that's big enough. And that way, instead of you feeling like you stopped something, You just switched roles, you switched modules. So the container has to be big enough to handle all of the roles. So you make sure that whatever you're doing fits in a container that's big enough. And that container is the role that you play as the systems builder. And then just make sure that you focus on one role for 90 days. And then you can move to the next, you can move to the next role if you want, or continue with the role that you're in. And that way, that would strengthen the nervous system. And by strengthening it, I mean you'll feel more safe in the bigger container, and also more safe knowing that you're able to not only start something but finish it. So yeah, just stay tuned. I'm gonna do a kind of like a formal video on why it's hard to stick to one thing.